Please welcome the chairperson of the Strauss Group, Miss Ofra Strauss.
Hi, all of you. Actually, those of you who think you don't have seats, you actually have seats, so you don't have to stand at the end of the place. Hey, welcome you all. Welcome partners. Welcome friends. Welcome my family. It is a great day. And as you heard, I'm only the person who allowed it to happen. So, like 8 years ago, came an amazing team from the Strauss Group with this idea. The truth is, I didn't listen to the details. I just saw their passion. I saw their passion to make it happen, so I said yes, and I joined you. They talked about creating a community in Israel, a community of FoodTech, a community that will be so strong that they will make the food industry in Israel much better. They talked about community that will be part of other communities around the world, will actually call for action to those other communities to join us, as we are doing here today, and with a mission to do the world a better one, or as we call it today, doing good by doing food. And you know, with the years, it became much more clear. I just want to make sure that I thank those of you who really made it happen. The team in the kitchen, the team in Alpha, the whole team in Strauss that made sure that the details here are so beautiful and make sure the messages are actually made. So as they said, I only allowed it to happen. So is the board of directors of Strauss, who said yes to this amazing journey. But I can tell you that when we started, in the room were 30 people. So we talked about FoodTech, but the truth is we had to fill the place with the Strauss people. And just the thought that 1,500 people will sit in the room and will talk about FoodTech and how to make the world a better one was at that time just unbelievable. But one thing became really clear, that the mission is big, and it's not about just words, good or food. We just really realized, instead of just buzzwords, that technology is the only thing that will allow it to actually happen, to make the food a vehicle to make the world a much, much better one. So doing good by doing food is not a slogan anymore. And I just want to take the time and the minute to congratulate or to say to everyone, Shana Tova and Happy New Year. On Sunday, we are actually entering into the new year. And here in Israel and around the world, Jews will take the next 10 days to actually do a soul searching, to actually reflect on the things we have done in the last year or the last few years, really look into them, and to say, well, we want to change some things, leave them behind. As you can see here, we have this habit or ritual of throwing the bad thing we have done to the sea and take with us to the new year only the good things and very important resolutions. So this soul searching is about taking responsibility and taking accountability to the things we are doing. So what a great way, actually, for us in the food world to do this. And that's what I'm going to do with you in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Accountability and responsibility on the things we have done and resolution for the next year. Or another way to say it, what I definitely understood, that what we do in the present is actually going to define the future. So the future really depends on us, on the things we do today. We're not going to talk about futuristic things. We are going to talk about how we make today a better future. So, as someone who was born into the food industry, food is not just words for me, of course. I know that food matters. And food matters not just because of our sheer size, $15 trillion, $8 million who are 8 million people who are impacted by what we do, and in 2030, 9 billion people. 2 billion people work in the food industry today, and it's a quarter of the population. So yeah, the sheer size make us a pillar in national security. People talk about national security as if it's army. It's not true. It is about the right food to the right people in the right time in the safest way. But food is not just number and sheer size. Food is about nourishment. Food is about really making people feel good. Food is about bringing people together. Food is about making people happy. It's about a way that we define ourselves as a private person, as a community, as a team. Food is just an essential part of our history and what makes us human beings. Since the dawn of human evolution, humans have been forming tribes, especially around threats, around risks, around just the notion that together as tribes, they can actually fight crisis. And I want us just to think about this time as crisis. And I think we are the tribe that can save the world. We are the tribe that can actually change the narrative of crisis, of threats, of challenges. I think we can. We can be called the tribe that makes the difference and the crisis that the world is facing. And crisis is not something that we define in the boardrooms. Crisis is something that others do. And I want to actually take the great example of Greta, which everyone is talking about it. She says she was quite invisible for most of her 16 years. But when she entered to the UN room, she was there, the youngest person, the smallest one, but she came off as the oldest soul in the Capitol Hill. So when I talk on crisis, I don't want to say it in my own words, because it's not really what matters. I want to use Greta's words.
Our house is on fire. I am here to say our house is on fire. According to the IPCC, we are less than 12 years away from not being able to undo our mistakes. People like to tell success stories, but their financial success has come with an unthinkable price tag. And on climate change, we have to acknowledge that we have failed. All political movements in their present form have done so. And the media has failed to create broad public awareness. But Homo sapiens have not yet failed. Yes, we are failing, but there is still time to turn everything around. We can still fix this. We still have everything in our own hands. Now is the time to speak clearly. Solving the climate crisis is the greatest and most complex challenge that Homo sapiens have ever faced. The main solution, however, is so simple that even a small child can understand it. We have to stop the emissions of greenhouse gases. And either we do that or we don't. You say nothing in life is black or white, but that is a lie, a very dangerous lie. Either we prevent a 1.5 degree of warming or we don't. Either we avoid setting off that irreversible chain reaction beyond human control or we don't. Either we choose to go on as a civilization or we don't. that is as black or white as it gets. We must change almost everything in our current societies. The bigger your carbon footprint is, the bigger your moral duty. The bigger your platform, the bigger your responsibility. Adults keep saying we owe it to the young people to give them hope. But I don't want your hope. I don't want you to be hopeful. I want you to panic. I want you to feel the fear I feel every day. And then I want you to act. I want you to act as if you would in a crisis. I want you to act as if the house was on fire. Because it is.
So in Greta's words, the house is on fire and we need to act because our platform is a huge one. So right now in the UN, head of states, head of corporations are gathering now and thinking, how far are we from actually fulfilling the 17 UN development goals? So they are there just thinking how the world they want to see. They want to describe the world they want to see. I want us here to say, we are here to make all your dreams happen. So in the UN, they will say, they will put target, and we are here, the tribe that will make it happen. That's our role, that's the reason why we are together. But in order to meet all the challenges, in order to really make it happen, we cannot continue and do the things we were used to do. We have to reimagine the whole food world, we have to renew it, and we have to reassure everyone around it that we know what we are going to do. And when I talk about reimagining and renew, I'm talking, let's stop thinking about the food industry or the food world as a food chain. We are so used to say, from seed to table. That's our narrative, and I think we need to change it. We have to move from food chain to food stack. And what a great place in the food technology gathering to talk about food stack. And food stack is the only way that we'll be able to be a more inclusive category, to actually allow newcomers, new categories to be part of what we do. Because only us, only the big multinational agribusiness or food giants will not make it happen. We are not big enough, we don't have all the resources. We need a pharma business, we need the doctors around the world. We need every developer to be part of it. But for that, we have to stop thinking about ourselves as a chain, but as a food stack. That new intersection will happen, not only between food and food, or food and suppliers, but between food and biotech. And as Harari said, it's not that far that we will be able to hack also the human cell, not only phones. And once we'll hack human cells, we'll be able to know much better than any person that sits here what they need before they actually know it. So the food stack will allow us to actually do things with others. And while we do it, we have to let go on this pyramid that we are at the top. We have to let go of our ego that people are in the center, and to understand that we have to create an echo where we really understand that we are interdependent, that what happened to the planet impacts us. When things happen to animal, it impacts us, and when we are in bad shape, it actually disrupts the whole ecosystem. So from ego to echo will allow us to be part of something bigger. And while we do all those changes, we have to do it in a friendly way. Friendly to the planet, friendly to animals, and friendly to humans. Friendly to everyone. I'll stop here just for a moment. I'll say, I know, like you know, that those changes will be very difficult. And some say we will not be able to make it happen. But I believe that the right call for action will actually move us to remove the silos that we created, will actually make us work together to do those changes, because we, the people who are part of this new stack, are the people who can make it happen. But as I said, it's not in our hand, and we'll have to work really hard and in a friendly way. So you are here in the right moment and in the right place, because things started to happen. So whether you are a farmer who are looking to digital solutions to what you do, or you are an investor that look to invest in the food tech industry, all the big banks already are part of it. So 7, 8 years ago, there were no numbers, there were no finance behind our industry. Now there is. There is this urban farming that goes vertical. Scientists move into meat business. We see robots on the ground and drones in the air, helping actually having better agriculture, and we see investment there. We see personalized nutrition that goes digital. Things happen, there are categories. Citibank, UBS just published really a report on the numbers and the categories that you should invest, and there are amazing returns, and that's part of a very, very growing financial industry that happened behind us. So the future is bright, but it's not guaranteed. And I want to pause on one thing. Just not a while ago, technology was the answer to everything, to connectivity, to big companies. But we are at the time where most of the big technology companies lost trust. They are now going through scrutiny, whether they're doing things in an ethical way, where they take actually in their point of view all the stakeholders when they do things. The technology lost trust. So when we are just creating now a new category, we have to remember. We have to remember there are people there. We have to take everyone into consideration, because there are already new technology in the food industry that people don't want to accept. They want it natural. And at the moment, technology is perceived as the enemy of natural. So together, we have to gain the trust. We have to explain that technology is the friend of people, that they are the friend, actually, of food. I'm proud to stand here and to talk about a better world, a better future, a call for action, because I am first generation Israeli. You see here my grandparents. They were immigrants that came to Israel with a hope to create with agriculture a better country to their son, Michael, who is here, who was actually just 2 years old. They had to leave a country that they didn't feel comfortable in, and came to a country, and with 2 cows, actually made this conference an option. So agriculture, food, is a great way to build great countries and big companies. So let's just remember the basics. That's how it started, not only for us, but for most of this industry. So as I said, the time is now. The time is now because our planet and our future is at stake. It's about food stack, it's about something more inclusive. And we have to think eco and not ego, because we have to think in a kind way, in a human way, to everyone around us. And I want to end, like I do very often, with a quote of my father, who is one of the great leaders, at least I had the opportunity to be with. The secret is belief, uncompromising ambition, the patience and the withstand even in the toughest conditions, and we will face tough conditions. Not to give up, and to remember that people are key. Thank you all for listening to me. Thank you all for being here, and have a great, great day. Thank you.